Hello, and welcome back to Lattes Art, presented by J Squared Atelier. I'm your host, James William Moore, artist, curator, and fellow explorer of where creativity takes us. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by someone who is stepping into a remarkable moment in her creative journey. Reed Brown is having her very first exhibition, Saturation, at Impell Gallery. And what makes this debut so exciting is not just that it's her first show, it's that her artistic journey with photography is so deeply personal. Reed's path into art grew out of life's twists, illness, emotional upheaval, moments of reflection, and the simple, powerful act of slowing down enough to notice the world differently. For her, photography is not just about capturing, it's about seeing. She transforms ordinary things, a falling flower, reflections in water, even an avocado pit, into images that shift our perspective, asking us to look closer, linger longer, and find beauty in the overlooked. What strikes me most about Reed's work is how it balances spontaneity with transformation. A decisive moment, like the portrait she calls Maria, can feel raw and immediate. Yet, in other pieces, she leans into saturation, contrast, and abstraction, until her photographs feel like paintings, layered with story and emotion. In our conversation, we'll explore how creativity became a healing practice for her, what it feels like to embrace the word artist for the first time, and how art can be both personal expression and a mirror for others. So grab your latte, settle in, and join me in welcoming Reed Brown to Lattes Art. Reed, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to get this opportunity. Can you kind of tell us a little bit of what sparked this turn to creativity for you?
Yes, I can. Creativity for me tends to come from turmoil of some kind. Sometimes it's been physical turmoil, like when I had COVID. My creative spark just ignited, and emotional turmoil this last year of a lot of different changes in my life and the demand to be introspective. I've always loved taking photographs of interesting things, but this time it turned into more of a healing process for me and a way to kind of externally look at what was happening in my mind, if that makes sense.
It's crazy how art can heal. It can give us a salve for our souls sometimes.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, and this period of time, I've always been into art in some way or the other. I think that a lot of my art has been craft. I can do that kind of perspective, but photography isn't a craft. To me, it's a capturing of images that just so intrigue me. And I know that the perspective or the objects that I pick are times super simple, but the way that I look at them is complex.
Was photography always there for you? Or is it something new that you've discovered?
No, I've always had some kind of camera. I've always been the person in my family that's like, take the pictures, or and they've always been a little bit different than your average family picture events. Again, that perspective has always been a little bit different. So the means of being able to capture things have always intrigued me. Capturing just seems so like, I got you, but it's like I see you.
It's holding on to memories.
Yeah.
It's making a permanency to a memory.
Yeah. So photography, I took a photography class, and I went to San Francisco's community college and took a photography class, and we had dark rooms, and it was a really amazing time. But then I moved and that all went away, but still capturing images stayed with me.
So what photograph was the one that you took that you said, this is art?
To me, reflective work was the things that I felt like were art. To other people, the image of what I call Maria is the one that a lot of people call kind of a turning point in my art. That one made me giddy only because of how I captured it. Decisive moments. I love decisive moments. Just like I remember taking that picture. I just remember seeing her and just grabbing my phone and taking the picture and just capturing this moment that was like iconic. And in that way, that felt like an incredible piece of work for me. But it's very different from a lot of the work that I'm doing right now.
Well, we'll jump into that
Yeah.
because you said the word perspective a little bit ago, and I think that the new stuff that you're doing, perspective is a big piece of it.
Totally.
So for those of you listening, check out the show notes because Maria is an amazing capture that Reed has that will be featured in an upcoming show, but there'll be links there for you to be able to actually pull the piece up and see what we're talking about on these references. Can you walk us through one of the images in this upcoming show and why it's especially meaningful for you? Not necessarily the show, because that's exciting.
Yeah.
But what image is especially meanable?
So the show is called Saturation, and actually there's this show. I mean, I have to say that you're responsible for a lot of how my style has changed.
That's flattering.
Well, it's true. It's true because you gave me some tools that I didn't even know that were there. That actually, I think the images, I don't have one. I can't answer that question, but I can say the work that I've turned into something different than a photograph. The base of it is a photograph, but now if you look at a lot of it, they look like paintings. So the composition is still there. It's still real. It's still what I took. But I just was able to shift things like contrast and saturation. And that changed my work incredibly. It changed the perspective of it all. And I love that it's so tactile.
With your photography that you're doing now, do you see it as storytelling? Do you see it as documentary? Like you're documenting a moment? I know it comes off being very abstract.
Yeah.
So is it about expressing yourself through these abstractions?
Oh, dear. Well, here's the thing, is that the photographs themselves demand storytelling. There's always a story behind the object, and maybe they stand on their own as a image, but there's a story behind them, each one of them. And sometimes when you look at it, if you're newly looking at the piece, you're not even sure what you're looking at. And then it becomes really clear.
Well, and that's where I think, the abstract expressionism really does come through. Like, we think of Jackson Pollock and drip paintings, or we think of Rothko with color studies and these sorts of things. And there's something that feels to me when I'm looking at these newest pieces that there is that story I'm being drawn into as I'm trying to get a grasp on the reality I've been presented.
Right. Yeah. It's tricky.
It is very tricky.
Yeah. But there's always a real image behind it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I thoroughly enjoy the different perspective that you get, only because it's really what is in my mind all the time, different perspectives. And you and I talk about David Hockney all the time. And I just am so connect with him because of his ability to share his different perspectives and have it make sense, even though you might have to tilt your head a little or be drawn in. I want you to be drawn into the piece.
Well, and I loved, you showed me before we started recording a new photograph that you had shared with your mom. And it's when I'm teaching photography, I call it the worm's eye view.
Right. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, it was a really simple piece. It's just a flower, a white orchid. Was it a white orchid? No, I can't remember what color it was. But it was just laying on the sidewalk. It could have been rather pedestrian, but I saw it from the view it was laying on. And I wanted to capture it how it was laying, not from above where I was seeing it, but from the worm's eye view, which created a whole different image.
And it's so amazing that when we talk about perspective, we can talk about our own human perspective, how we see life.
Yes.
But then when we add a camera into it, cameras have different perspectives.
Right.
They force us to move.
They do. Yeah. But, they force us to move if you want the camera to express what's actually happening in your mind, too.
Yeah.
That has been the thing that I'm enjoying learning about, because I think you correctly said in your intro that I don't have any advanced training in this. I have a camera. I have a nice camera. All the pieces that you're going to be seeing in the show come from my phone. I love learning about how I can make you see what's in my mind.
So tell us a little bit about, you've got your first show. How crazy is that?
I'm like blown away. It's coming up. I didn't see it coming.
It's flattering.
It's humbling. It's humbling. And how the show came about in the first place is that I was at another exhibit and I was introduced as an artist. And I'd never been introduced as an artist before. And I just was like looking over my shoulder, like you talk.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah. And the person that I was introduced to asked what kind of work I was doing, like photography. And at that time, I was really deep into reflective work because I was really being reflective on my own life. So it just reflections were constantly catching my eye, particularly in water. And so I was showing him that work, and he asked me where I was showing my work. And I said I was showing it to him on my phone right then. And it turned out that he is a gallery owner, and he said I should be showing my work. And I just giggled a little and thanked him for the compliment, and not knowing that he was a gallery owner at the time. And he pursued that with me. And here we are, like 8 months later, something like that. And it's hard work. It's hard work.
It is very hard work, as you've discovered.
It's hard work, yes.
But I want to go back for just a second. You're not classically trained, and there's nothing wrong with that, because we all as humans have creativity inside of us, don't we?
We sure do.
And it's all accessible when we allow ourselves
to
go there.
Yes. I mean, we were just talking about, like, you didn't know you could play the piano until you just sat down and plucked out a few notes, and all of a sudden you were a piano player. I didn't know that I could actually draw until I had COVID a couple of years ago and was stuck up in my bedroom and like trying to figure out what to do with my creative mind on fire. And so I thought I would just give drawing it. And I'm not that bad of a drawer. I mean, but photography is almost instantaneous of what's in my mind, right?
It's cool when we have that like natural extension of who we are, what goes on inside of our head, and it's something that we can capture from a cell phone or a camera, and in that decisive moment.
Yeah. I think that the phones, and now, phones are becoming amazingly clear photos that you can blow things up to a whole size of a wall, make movies, all those kinds of things. And for me, my phone, which is at my office I'm a real estate agent too, and it's for all those things, but I actually end up, I call my camera all the time. Where's my camera? Where's my camera? Where's my camera? And it catches things so impeccably that my mind is always accessible to my phone. Does that make sense at all? It's just like...
It's second nature. It's there. It's that instant that we can be creative.
Right. And I think that I have that need all the time.
You know, I think too many times people we know find themselves sort of lost because they've stopped feeling that they can be creative, that they can do something more. Like you mentioned, you're a real estate agent. Okay, great. But that doesn't mean that that stops the creativity.
No, and I've become a very big fan of the word and.
Yeah.
I love that word instead of but. I am a real estate agent and I'm a photographer. I'm an artist. Did you hear me just like stumble over that still? But those are really, it's okay to have that complexity, and what's a little hard is making time for both of those, especially when you're running up against like putting a show on. But
I battle this all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I mean, you're a teacher, and trying to find the time for your own creative self.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. I'm grateful that I know how to use a calendar. And I literally, over the summer, blocked out. It's like, I will make more tarot cards.
Yes.
That's all there is to it.
Right.
It's got to happen.
Yeah. Yes.
So process. What does your process look like? Like you take a picture, like right now, like what you're creating now. You take that picture, but then where does it go?
Sometimes I can't help but just stop and edit it right after I take it. It all sits on my phone. And then I just built a website. The best thing about that for me is it helped me organize the categories of the things I see along the way. And I think that's generally my hashtag anyway. But sometimes I'm obsessed with water. Sometimes I'm obsessed with clouds. Sometimes I'm obsessed with human connection. And my website is giving me a place to like land those things for me. And then I don't know what else. I mean, now it's landing in a show. So
in this show, it's not your entire body of work. It's kind of specific.
Very specific. I am fluid in the things that I see along the way. And so it's hard sometimes to capture in a show what I've done when I've already moved on to sidewalks.
That's where you have to rely on that gallery owner or that curator that has a vision that pulls in those pieces.
Right. I mean, Maria is completely different from any other piece that you'll see. There's not another human being in my pieces. They're a lot of floral work.
When this was first coming together, and you were concerned because it's like, I need this and that, and you were like
all over the place.
Yes. But then Maria was one that you were passionate about, not to leave out of the show.
And the gallery owner was passionate about that too.
And it took me, right? Because I mull a lot. And I think, and I'm like, okay. It came to me with the Maria piece. She is the flower amongst the weeds. It's a style different than everything else that's in the show.
Completely different.
But it still has that same soul.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective. I mean, she and decisive moments. Like I just catch it. I just see it and catch it. So Maria, like I hardly touched that piece. I took that piece, I cropped it into a square. I'm kind of obsessed with squares. Most of the pieces in the show are squares. There are some rectangles. There's 26 pieces in that. So she got cropped into a square, and I made sure that the focus was on her. So the people that are behind her, well, their backs are to her anyway. And so the relevance of them didn't need to be sharp.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a little bit blurred, but that's it. That's it. The rest of the pieces, they've been manipulated. The concept is still there. The composition is still there, but they've been manipulate it in any way that you can, sometimes back and forth. Saturation, way too much saturation sometimes. I'll bring it back, or the vibrance of it, or the detail of it. They're all like I'm moving those bars back and forth many times to see where I want it to land. So the base is there, and then the painting starts.
It's interesting because you talked about that these are sort of things you see in your mind,
Yes.
like how you're seeing the world. And when you now have these prints and you're looking at those prints, do you still think it's what you see in your mind? Or has it gone somewhere else?
Oh, definitely. My mind has gone someplace else. But it was there. It was real. It was in my mind. And when it was printed, it's definitely what I saw. It's still what I saw. I look at it and I'm like, yep, that's what it was. My mind has gone way beyond that now. Like I'm on sidewalks now. I mean, I had a really bad flu in April, and I had a temperature of 104, and I have a little dog that had to be walked no matter what, and I could barely look up. And so I was looking at sidewalks, holding my head, and thinking, am I hallucinating? Or these like weird things in the sidewalks, these visions that I was seeing in so I started taking pictures of them. And then when I started manipulating those pictures and bringing out the shadow, well, there was like some creepy stuff going on below my feet. Interesting stuff, like Rorschach, that kinds of things.
Well, and when you find that, is that helping you process other stuff that's going on?
Oh, you mean like my brain? What's going on processing?
Yeah. Or does it open
calming.
up other...
It's just calming to me.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's just like, I got to get it in and I got to get it out. The picture and capturing the picture is getting it in. What I saw in my mind, it's now on my phone or printed or whatever. So yeah, it's like, it's a need. It's a need to, and it's not just about objects. Human connection is huge for me too. Families connecting with each other, playing, people playing, emotions. When you see like a little kid on the side, on the curb, like,
well, and I got the privilege of seeing the website and seeing your whole oeuvre. I mean, all of these connected humans that are in that section of the website, I've just found fascinating because, again, you're using that decisive moment idea and you're capturing these times that no longer exist, but that story is there and that memory is there and that human connection is there. I just loved it. I loved digging through and seeing all of that.
Yeah, capturing human beings candidly, not at a party, but in life, you really capture, what like Indians sometimes believed if you took their picture that you were capturing their soul.
Yes.
Yeah. So I believe that. I mean, I don't think I'm taking their soul. They still have it. It's not in my camera, but I believe that their soul is somehow in that image.
I feel that when I can see into their eyes.
Well, that's true. But there's also body language.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
So this show's coming up. It's the first one. How are your nerves right now?
They're okay right now. Right now they are. Because I've been like obsessively working on it. So it's all the back end stuff that has kept me really busy. Now, when I run out of things to do and have to wait.
You're like me. You don't wait well.
I'm not. Yeah, that's going to be really hard. And I'm also moving on in my photography too, right? So now I'm like, well, how's this going to land? What am I going to do with this? And how do I get that out there? And it's not because it's just, I guess I really have to think about it, because getting it out there for me isn't like a bragging thing. It sounds like it, but it's just like, oh, I want you all to see what I just saw, Like I just took a picture of a hummingbird and a butterfly on a mobile at the same time. And I just was like, you can't look at what I just saw.
That whole idea leads me to my next question.
Oh, good.
There's going to be people that know you or not that come to this show. What do you want them to see through this art when they step into the gallery?
Well, I just want them to see the kind of the beauty of simple things, maybe. You know, none of the things that I'm showing are really complicated, right? But the way I'm showing them, I'm trying to pull out the beauty of it.
Well, those often overlooked moments, right?
Yeah.
You're looking at, you're zooming in on something of the flower. You're zooming in on reflections in water.
Or in the show is actually an avocado pit, a very simple, overlooked object that tends to either get thrown away or put toothpicks in them and put them in a glass for a couple weeks. I personally dry my avocado pits, a whole nother story, maybe another podcast. But that pit on that 30 by 20 print now is gorgeous. It's like you look at it and the question is, what is that? And then, I mean, it's a seed of some kind, but then like the intricacy of that seed, it blew my mind away, and then to see it that big and clear was just those little simple things that I see there you go again, the things I see along the way. Maybe I'll do a show called that sometime. But I want people to start like looking at things that they see along the way with a little bit more. We're so busy all the time, we don't see those things, and maybe just stop and look at those.
Well, and I think with abstraction, art that's abstract forces us to wait a moment and look at it.
Right.
And not pick it apart so much as dive into it to see what it's telling me.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think you've given us these moments with this work that's going to be in the show.
Yeah, I mean, like there's one print that comes to mind is I was driving down my street, so it was spring, and like everything was blooming and dropping at the same time, like the Palo Verde, the bougainvillea. So these like brilliant colors were like on the trees and the bushes and landing on the ground and all together. And I just immediately pulled over and took that photo. But then I played with the saturation of it, and it's become a tapestry. But it was like a moment, mm-hmm. and that kind of saturation really like accentuated the beauty of what was happening.
You've looked at reflections. You've looked at flowers. You've looked at these moments with humans. You're starting to look at sidewalks earlier this year. Where are you going next?
Whatever catches my eye next. I don't know, because they don't. None of those obsessions are contrived, right? So I don't know what my eye will catch. I mean, I'm always into clouds, but not your average cloud.
Well, how interesting is that? One, you were looking down at sidewalks, and now you're going to be looking up at clouds.
Well, I mean, I am already looking up at clouds. There's a whole section on my website called Not Your Average Cloud, I think it's called. Or Not Your Typical Cloud, something like that. But, it goes to, my eye goes everywhere. Mm-hmm. Everywhere,
But how fascinating might it be to have a show that's your sidewalks with your clouds and have them stacked?
Oh, yeah. Right? You could do like a whole thing. I mean, I've got the tapestry print is like, I'm looking right on at it, right? But mm-hmm. I don't know what'll happen next. I got a tree outside that I'm really obsessed with. How many different ways could I photograph that tree? Crows like it. I like crows. I like birds. Spend a lot of time with them.
I look forward to what's next.
Yeah, me too.
In relative terms, you're kind of new to this whole art thing.
Yes.
What kind of advice might you have for someone that might be struggling finding creativity?
Slow down. I mean, if you're really struggling to find creativity, I don't know what advice to give that. Maybe a therapy. But if you have creativity and you're struggling to figure out how to get it out, I would just play with every medium that you have available to you. You're not a writer until you write. You're not a painter until you paint. You're not a photographer until you take the photo.
Yeah.
You're not a musician until you play something. I don't play anything. I'm the audience, like we talked about before, and everybody needs an audience. But I think you have to do it. And then see if it brings you joy. If it doesn't bring you joy, my creativity saves my life, my mental health. It allows me to use reflection to look at myself. It allows me to not look at myself and to look at other things. So I think anybody I don't know what to say about struggling to find creativity, but I know if you're trying to figure out how to get it out of you, you have to do it.
Impell Gallery is where your show's going to be at.
Yes.
It's opening up the first part of October, correct?
October 8th.
October 8th. It's on a Wednesday?
It is.
Wow. Amazing.
I know.
How exciting.
Yeah, it's October 8th through the 12th, and then we're actually keeping the pieces up through Palm Springs has a preview modernism week that following week, so it's staying up through the following week, the 17th and 18th. It's very exciting.
Congratulations on that, because that is something
who
that,
knew? And I couldn't have done it without you, James. Honest to God. I couldn't have. I could take the picture, but it just landed in my phone or on social media, but that's it. And I never would have even known how to pursue any of this without your help along the way. So take that.
Thank you. I've enjoyed our conversations.
It's been, I know. I'm sorry. I keep you a little busy sometimes.
Hey, that's what friends do. That is what friends do.
So honored to have you as my friend and my mentor. You're my mentor.
Thank you.
And I would say that anybody that's like has found their creativity and wants to take it to the next level and doesn't know, you find a mentor.
Yeah, I absolutely promote that idea.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you
can't do this in a vacuum.
You can't, because like I said, you changed the style of how I've done some of my photography, by giving me the tools. Not like saying you should do it this way, but look what else you can do.
Well, it's amazing. We have a toolkit. We're fixing something. We go get the toolkit. We get the hammer. We get the screwdriver. We get whatever we need. Duct tape. Art's no different.
No. And the one thing that I just watched this documentary on David Hockney, and I would have liked to have debated him on this, that the difference between photography and painting is that, photography is so instant and painting is a long process. I totally get paintings. I have dear friends that are amazing artists. I see how they struggle. I see what they do, but taking the image is instant. What you do after that is a process that can be just as creative and time consuming and changing as a painting. So I would have debated that with David Hockney. Sorry.
Well, and I find it fascinating, like you, that he sees it, that it's like almost there's no process. But the reality, his process is enormous.
Immense. Yes. Immense. Yes. Yeah. I have a whole new respect for him. And like I said, I connect to the way that he chooses to do things in a different perspective.
Yeah.
It amazes me. And cool, when you see that. And I think that's what I want people to see when I get it. And if I happen to be there to tell the story behind the image, that's great. But I want them to be able to dive deep enough and spend enough time with it that they can, maybe it's not the story that I have, but it's a story that they come up with. That's okay.
Well, and I think that your work, especially this that's going to be at Impell Gallery, challenges us on our own perspective.
Yes.
And I think that's a good thing. I think sometimes we need to be challenged.
Yes. In a fun way.
Always in a fun way.
Definitely in a fun way.
Reed,
Yeah.
thank you so much for
Oh my
joining me
God.
today. This has been such a treat.
It's such a treat. I've just had so much fun, and it's so easy to talk to you, and I love I love talking to you. And your knowledge is so immense that I hope you're always in my life, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
I enjoy our friendship. I cherish it. And, I appreciate, because what some of you may not know is that one of my first solo shows here in Palm Springs was at Reed's Salon.
Oh, yep.
And
yes, I love that show.
And, it's these types of things that we have this circle. And I've been thrilled that for a number of years, you and I have been in that circle.
Yeah. And you've expanded my circle of art. You really have. And I've lived in Palm Springs since 1997. And when I started when I started stepping into the art world, I'm like, who are all you people? I thought I knew everybody in town, not in like an ego sort of way, but I did think I knew a lot of people in town. And now I've met like this whole amazing group of creative people that, again, is just changing my world all the time.
That is what I have always felt about Palm Springs being a gift.
Yes.
It is an artist colony that I don't think we realize how deep that colony is.
And growing.
Yeah, it never stops.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating how much this town is becoming an artist community.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I'm here.
It's a great place to be.
It's a great place to be.
Thank you again, Reed. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you too.
Thanks so much for joining us today on Lattes Art, presented by J Squared Atelier. I'm your host, James William Moore. A huge thank you to Reed Brown for sharing her story and opening up about the journey into photography and creativity. It's a rare gift to witness an artist at the very start of their path, and I'm so glad we could be a part of it. Be sure to check the show notes for links to Reed's work and to see some of the pieces we discussed today, including Maria and her new abstractions. And if you're in Palm Springs, don't miss her debut exhibition, Saturation, at Impell Gallery, running October 9th, 11th, 12th, and 18th, which coincides with Palm Springs Preview Modernism Week. As always, thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this conversation, please share the episode and help us spread the word about the incredible artists shaping today's creative world. Until next time, keep sipping, keep creating, and keep finding inspiration in the everyday.